Yay, not too loud, not too small. I'm getting it. All right, I'm gonna spend too small. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our July 21st weekly meeting of Rotary Club of Milledgeville, and with Nelson Kraft, please come up and be our Rotarian of the day, according to the screen you're in.
Thank you. Please pray with me. Father God, we love you so much. We just thank you for these people. We thank you for this club. We thank you for our community. Just guide us in our decisions. May we feel your presence and serve you at all times. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
In pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it true? Second, is it fair and all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And fifth. All right, as you sit down, please remember to silence your cell phones and dump your spare change in the cart bucket, please. William Black, do we have any prayer? Is William here? William's not here. Okay, well, in the absence of William, are there any prayer requests in the club or in the community? So I'm going to move this back just a little bit because it's cutting right through the middle of Bill Jones' head. And I can't see over there. So I want to be able to see Bill Jones and everybody over there. All right, no prayer requests. All right, community announcements. Dr. Price, I know we've got the
little delay. We have our back to school bash tomorrow from 11 to 1. We have, I believe, 25 different organizations that will be there. And this is just an opportunity for us to kick off the start of the school year with the semester, but also to bring our community together and distribute information, giving school supplies. So it's going to be a great event. 11 to 1, so come and join us at Lakeview Academy. Okay, and it is going to be outside. There is a chance of rain, and if we see in the morning that's going to rain around that time, we're going to move it inside. But it is outside.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Price. And on that note, once upon a time, we had Rotary coloring books. I know Renee Fontenot used to be the keeper of the coloring books. Does anyone happen to know where they are?
I know where you can get them.
Really? Easily by tomorrow? Yeah, that's the kicker. So maybe, yeah, okay. So who? Lynn Chandler might know, because Lynn knows all. All right, I'll check the plan.
Or Joe Peters.
Joe doesn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my first one, but Joe didn't know either. Okay, so Rotary will be setting up a table there. I'll be setting up a table there tomorrow. So if any of you are available, just drop in between 11 and 1 and help. We will have some sort of activity, whether it's coloring sheets or whatever for the kids. All right. Any other community announcements? No? All right, Greg, can you please tell us about our guests and draw for us?
I can do that.
All right.
We have three guests today. Two are guests of Crystal. Crystal, you want to introduce your guest?
Yes, so I'm happy with me today, Miss Sheila Finger. She is the owner of Simply Southern. This is her first time with us, so please feel welcome. Also have a guest, Alicia with Windstream, so also again make her feel welcome.
Tom has a guest, a repeat guest.
Yes, I have my lovely daughter Stella, so we can leave right after we head to the airport.
All right. All right, Stella, I'm going to ask you while you've got your mouth full to pull out a ticket and hand it to me. Thank you. Okay, the winner is ending in 340. 340.
Nice.
For the Queen of Hearts, is that right?
Queen of Hearts. Could be. We got the end clips instead. There you go.
Bummer.
Thanks for playing.
Thank you, Randy. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Okay, so I got us started just a little bit early today because we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. A lot of stuff to tick through. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to kick it off, and then all of the board members are going to come up, and we're all going to tell you what our goals are and what we hope to accomplish in the coming year in Rotary. The past 2 years have required everybody, all of us, to shift our focus inward on ourselves and our most immediate family and our communities. And it's what the world and what Rotary required of us to do. Joe and Tom did a fantastic job of leading us through that time in our lives and in the club. And they have allowed us to maintain a solid club with a strong presence in our community. But as we begin to come out, hopefully on the other side of COVID, although the numbers are making me nervous, but I'm choosing to believe that we are coming out on the other side of COVID. It's time for us to build on the foundation that Tom and Joe have given us, and it's time to re-engage with Rotary at the district level, national level, and the international level. So you all know we have Jennifer Jones, the first female president of Rotary International ever. Yay, go Jennifer. And this is her banner that you see on the front now. Her slogan for the year is Imagine Rotary, and imagine what Rotary can be in your individual community and around the world. So Jennifer imagines a Rotary where members act to make their dreams become reality and make the most of their club experiences. And I fully support that ideal. And I'm going to touch on a few things here, and then I'm going to hand it over to the rest of the board members to dig in a little deeper. So where's my catalog here? Okay, so everybody gets their Rotary magazine. You may have noticed in a couple of issues ago, they had this fantastic article about fellowships. How many of you knew about Rotary fellowships? I had no idea. I didn't know anything about it. You can join a Rotary fellowship for computer users, drinkers of whiskey. I actually joined the cycling fellowship. They have a huge ride in Tucson, Arizona every year. It's called the Ride to End Polio. It's in November every year. I'm likely not going to make it this year, but I'm definitely putting it on one of my goals, life goals, bucket list, to make it to that ride in Tucson at some point. So just in the effort to get us a little bit more engaged with a broader Rotary community, I would encourage you to look at that list and find a fellowship that you enjoy. I guarantee you, if it's your hobby, it is on that list. Yeah, the list is insane. So to make sure that we are moving forward in the best possible way, I've taken the liberty of creating a council of past presidents. And as I call your name, if you would please just wave your hand. I'm not going to make you stand up. Karen Brooks, Nolan Stevens, Bobby Murphy is not. He's on vacation, turkey butt. Mark Daler and Greg Blakely is also on this council. This council is being charged with creating a strategic plan for our club. It might be a 1-year plan, it might be a 3-year plan, 5-year, 20-year. I'm leaving it up to them for what they think is best. They're all longstanding Rotarians. They've been presidents, not necessarily in this club, but other clubs, and they can best help us navigate the future, in my opinion. This group is also going to take on the task. Remember, we had the committee that was working on what we're going to do with all this great charitable funds that we have that we've accumulated over the past couple of years. That committee is also going to be taking on the task of making recommendations to the rest of us and the board about what we want to do with those charitable funds. So, I'm very excited, and I thank them all very much for their service. And I've told them they can meet as much or as little as they want. Another big goal that Rotary International is pushing is membership, of course, always. We're always wanting more Rotarians. But Jennifer Jones specifically has a goal of 30% female. We do a pretty good job with that. I mean, look around. We're not 30% probably, but we're darn close. Oh, thank you. I forgot to hit the button. All right, thank you, Erin. Erin's keeping me straight this year. So in along with that, you may or may not have realized from reading your Rotary magazine that Rotary has added a 7th area of focus. There have been 6 areas of focus for years and years. They've added a 7th one, which is the environment. And so we're going to be making a few changes to the club that allow us to be more environmentally friendly. And one of those is doing away with the paper bulletins that we have out on the tables each week. So this is where our bulletin will be each week. It's a work in progress. We're still tweaking it. So if you have suggestions or ideas of information you want to make sure is up there, let us know. But Eric has taken that on. Thank you, Eric. And he'll be taking care of that for us. Another thing that is coming out of the district level is related to the CART funds. This is a car cart cup. Anybody want to say it 5 times fast? Car cart cup. And this has changed from my car for the past week. And there it goes. Easy peasy. You will all be getting one that you can keep in your car, and every week just bring it in, dump it in. And to that end, we're not going to be doing the match every week like we've been doing. And Carla is going to talk a little bit more about that when she gets to the foundation piece. You've already heard me talk about the Thursdays. The 5th Thursday of every month will be a social gathering. Let's see what else here. And yeah, so also aligning with the 7 areas of focus, where Dr. Price does a really great job of making sure the service projects that we do are hitting all of those areas of focus. The only thing we need to do now is just add the 7th focus to that, the environment. We don't know exactly what kind of project that's going to look like yet, but I have full faith in Dr. Price in making sure that happens. So, all right. I remembered the button that time. Are there any questions for me before I hand it off to Erin? No? All right, Erin, take it away.
Okay, so honestly, I have so many goals this year that I just had to pick a few and put it up there. When Tom asked me to be president-elect, or Jennifer asked me to be president-elect, they said, hey, you don't have to do anything. If they ever tell you that, they're lying. Okay? But, so there are some things I'm gonna do. Part of it is president-elect. What happened, Tom? Tom's our IT person. Okay, so, I'm gonna step in and help Jennifer with public image this year. Nick has resigned from the board, but still very active and very helpful. So he is going to maintain some of those roles, and we're going to kind of split the public image roles. So one thing that's my goal is to have some more presence in the community through traditional media like the newspaper and through social media. So if you look at Facebook tomorrow, you will see next week's speaker. So every Friday, we will post who is coming the following week.
Are you just gonna post for Facebook?
We'll work on getting it to the website too. But yeah, we have big plans on posting it. Yes, sir.
How do you get to the website? How do you get on the website?
MilledgevelleRotary.org.
Once you're there, what used to be service 1, now.
Oh, you're talking about DAC DB. So somebody else is going to talk about, Tamara, I think, has a goal for DAC DB. So you're talking about the internal website. this is the outward facing website, which is milledgevillerotary.org. Nick maintains that website. And so we will talk with him about getting it on the website as well. Tamara will be adding it into the database as well. So you're going to start seeing our information show up in a lot of different places. So that's one of my goals this year, is spread the information farther. I want to educate the club about the Rotary raffle so that we can have a successful year. I actually have a meeting planned with some of the Rotarians who started the raffle, so I can figure out what it's all about, why we're doing this, what we're doing with the funds, and I'm gonna educate the whole club on why we do the raffle, why we ask you to sell the tickets, how it benefits you to sell the tickets. So that will be coming up, and I will build some excitement around the raffle. Supporting Jennifer and all the other board members. I have a lot of goals this year that I want to see happen. Thankfully, I have other board members that's their goals as well. So I'm just here in support of them. I'm the conference chair this year, so I want the gold citation at the conference. So that is going to be a big goal. We'll see what we need to do to make that happen. And I would love to have a strong supportive presence from our club at the conference this year. Somebody mentioned renting a van and going up together. We could do we could rent one of the little, not condo, but chalets or cabins or something, if anybody's interested in that. I started Rotary Leadership Institute before COVID happened. I took the first class. There has been no more classes I could attend since then, unless you do it online. So my goal is to finish Rotary Leadership Institute, and then also help District Governor Heather Kellen have a successful year in an informative and fun conference. And y'all know where it's at, right? Callaway. So make sure to come.
I'll be leading a bike ride. during
Yeah,
the
she'll be
conference.
leading a bike ride. There will be a golf tournament led by Ed Presnell. So if you're a golfer, and lots of other fun stuff, family friendly. Do y'all have questions for me? No? Not talking golf? No questions? All right. Huh?
We're saying how good a job you did.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to Eric.
I should think twice before I give people pictures.
That's a good picture.
So as y'all know, this is my first year as secretary here, and I'm looking forward to it. Training down in district, and the thing they emphasized first was make your president look good. So my first goal is support Jennifer in whatever she needs and so on like that. And really sort of my major overall goal is to figure out how to be secretary. And that's really ultimately what it comes to. It's exactly what it sounds to. Like a lot of it for me is just sort of doing things on a weekly basis and seeing what needs to be done and figuring out where there's needs and so on like that. One of the big needs is, or maybe not need, but I think is a great place for us to move forward. As you guys know, I'm in the technology world. I'd like to sort of see us move forward in a lot of the ways we can with technology. I know there were a lot of sort of pause when we said we were getting rid of the bulletin. That was sort of partially my idea. What we'd like to do is put together a slide or a set of slides on a weekly basis that are up here, cycling through the information for that meeting and upcoming events. Part of that is I don't know how many people are aware of the effort that was going through every week for putting together those bulletins. Somebody puts together on a computer, somebody else is moving it over to Keith and his folks, and somebody is printing it and physically bringing it here, and there's just a lot of effort there. And I think we can, Tamara and I can put together something that works a lot smoother from an effort viewpoint, but from an environmental viewpoint is better because we're getting rid of the paper and the work to fund that. And so that's one of a number of things that we're talking about. If you guys have ideas for things, places where it feels like this would be something where we could do with technology better than what we're doing today, please let me know on those kinds of things. And that's basically where I'm at. And let's see, You know what's
Sit down here on the
down there?
keyboard.
Over there. the keyboard. Okay.
Huh?
That is not up.
Tom. There we go, there we go.
And I will turn it over to Greg. Oh, I'm sorry, David had any questions?
Good job.
All right, my goals are, unlike me, short and sweet. My first goal is to personally recruit 2 new members to the club, which I think is a worthy goal for all of us. And most importantly, for me, and I think for the club, and certainly for whoever succeeds me many years down the road, is to create a treasurer's operating manual, which is something I didn't have when I came into the job. Everything was kind of word of mouth between me and Derek. And Derek was great, but some things have to be written down. So I'm going to create a manual for that purpose.
But he's promised it's gonna be a long time before he has to.
As long as you'll have me. My next goal is to personally become a Paul Harris Fellow. And finally, to join the council that Jen put up to make sure that our money is properly distributed to those in need. Our current balance in the club is around $200,000, which is really more than a club like ours needs to operate. So we're going to be giving a lot of that money away. And then in that spirit, Jen asked me to mention that we have recently gave $500 to the Boy Scouts, which I think is a good organization. And we're proud to give $250 to the Partners in Education Fund. Okay, and finally, supporting Jen is a major goal. Although she probably doesn't need it that much, she's doing a fine job so far. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Marla.
Well, I have the best job, the best goal, the best board work, because it's about talking about Paul Harris Fellows. And who doesn't want a Paul Harris Fellow pin? Who doesn't want 2, 3, 4? Because every time you do it, you get jewelry on the pin. Right? So our goals are really pretty simple, is to get everybody to be Paul Harris Fellows if you haven't been already. And if you have been, to just get you to do 1 or 2. And if you really want to do like 10, you can be a major donor. And who doesn't want to do that, right? So we have a situation where a lot of people may not really understand the workings and the machinations of Paul Harris Fellows and how all of those relate to your raffle tickets, or how many points that people can donate for you. So we're going to put together a whole program that allows everyone the opportunity to take advantage of what we can offer to help you become a Paul Harris Fellow. So with that in mind, we're going to have quarterly discussions here. And one of our first discussions is going to be with Joy Horton from Hearst, there it is, from district. She's going to come and talk. Just lovely, sat down with lovely Jan Horridon here, and she's agreed to be on our committee. And she's going to talk about global grants and so on like that. We're going to have a great time, and then we're going to have some more dates. So the group of us, the foundation committee, includes myself, Keith Barlow, Bill Jones, Jan now, and we're going to recruit one other person that I'm looking at. And he doesn't know it yet, but we're going to recruit him. And so we're going to have a really fun time getting back to where we were before pandemic. So each month we're going to have just a few minutes to tell you how we're doing. We're going to do, oh yes, this person has their Paul Harris Fellow, that person. We're going to do pins and all this. And the pins are going to stay with Keith. When you do a Paul Harris, he's going to receive the pins, and then he's going to come and bring them, and then Miss Jennifer is going to pin everybody. We'll have a great time, post it on Facebook and the newspaper and all that sort of thing. So we're gonna let you know where you stand each month and encourage you to go ahead and, how do you say it, scratch out a check? Scratch a check, something like
Give
that.
us a check.
Give us a check, and we'll also match. So I'm gonna start out by matching and giving points for Eric Walter to become a Paul Harris Fellow, so we'll do that. And then, of course, we want to also look at achieving the 333 for each, $333 for each Rotarian to make our district governor look good, because if the district governor looks good, Miss Jennifer looks great, Miss Erin looks great, all of y'all look good, of course, I look good too. So, and so we want to have our prospective members meet with one of us committee members before they join, so they understand what the Paul Harris is all about. And then we're gonna do what Eric was talking about, which is automate some of our invoicing, so that if you want to have your Paul Harris dues paid for electronically, you can do that. You don't even have to bring a check. So we're gonna work with Greg to make that happen. And so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Any questions?
Well, Carla brought a really nice list to the board meeting the other day that had all of our names on it, and how far each of us had to go for either our first or our next Paul Harris amount. And so I'm giving her my check right now
Oh, cool. Thank you.
for my next Paul Harris.
Thank you very much. Very much. Thank you.
From the prior club I was in had a 100% Paul Harris designation. I don't know if we've ever had that.
We do.
Yeah, we are a Paul Harris Club. In 2018, we had that day, so everybody get Paul Harris. That is one of Carlos' goals that I thoroughly support, is for this club to get 100% participation again this year.
So, and of course, every board member is gonna be a Paul. Thank you.
You notice that wasn't a suggestion. All right, we got next. Kristen.
I'm the greeter. Like the person at Walmart that greets everybody coming in, so you feel welcome, warm, fuzzy. And then just to support everybody here, specifically Jennifer. And then just reinforce the importance of wearing your pins and your names. There are a lot of people that don't know everybody yet. And I'm Kristen.
Thank you, Chris.
How do you pronounce your last name?
There you go. Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Thank you.
All right, Crystal.
Goal digger's back, and I'm working on goals. So that's what I live for. I live for these goals, and Jennifer and everybody is doing a great job putting it together. And I think that it's been cohesively kind of put together. So some of mine might overlap with some of the other ones, and I think it just shows how we're all thinking alike. So the first one is, of course, increased membership. So let's get on board with what Greg has put in place. He's wanting to bring 2 new members into the club this year. If it's not 2, at least 1. You know, why are we hiding what we do at Rotary? You need to get out and tell people about what we're doing, because it's a great thing, and we're moving a lot of things in the community and moving that needle. So the other part that, if I'm lining up with the international Rotary, is bringing in 30%, having our club at the 30% with ladies. So, hey, we got 2 new lady potentials here today. So I think we're getting on track with that. So, and then member appreciation, we're gonna bring the cookie back. So, this month, I know I brought it up, but just starting this year, we're gonna have that next week. So if you had a birthday in July, make sure that if you get onto that website where you're checking the birthdays, I'm gonna scroll through and make sure I've got everybody in there, because I do not want to miss a birthday. Social events, we hosted 2 fireside chats last year, and this coming one, I want to be more family oriented, so that's my goal. And then for new member and existing members, the welcome packet at the door for new members, so that way they've already got the application, already talking about what we do here, some of the options that I want already have that available. So that way, because sometimes we bring a lot of people in and I'm chasing them around the room trying to get my name, given to them. So I think that would probably help with that. So I'm always open for ideas as well. And also, if you've been at one of the meetings where they talked about the new design for existing members, that's something that we've been in the talks about, creating a potential platform for, individuals that are unable to come to this meeting. Maybe it might be online, outside, they're meeting after hours. So I'll tell you more what that looks like once we get all that together. Any questions? Thoughts? All right. Well, thank y'all.
Next is Dr. Price.
Afternoon, everyone. Good to see you. So I'm about service, and which is what Rotary is all about, right? Giving back to the community, making a difference, impacting lives. And so we have done a good job pre-COVID. Then COVID hit and we were not able to do many of our service projects. So I'm hoping that although I see that the cases are going up again, that we will be able to do many of our service projects and add a few. So you can see the goals here is that we're going to add 3 additional service projects this year. If you have any other ideas after I share with you the service projects, I'm open to it. And those that were not possible, we're going to bring that back, like giving the 3rd graders books. We haven't been able to do that in 2 years. So we're hoping that we are able to bring back projects like that, and we continue to make a difference in our community. And then we want to have more of our club members more engaged in our service projects. There seems to be a core group that are all in, and whenever we do these projects, they're there, but it's not everybody. And we would like to change that. I would like to see every member participate in at least one of our service projects this year. So let me tell you some of the service projects that we have done and some of the new ones that we're continuing. Thanksgiving baskets that we do in November. Our 3rd grade book distribution, we give it to John Milledge Academy, Georgia Military Prep School, and the Baldwin County School District, all 3rd graders. Also the literacy fair, we have not had one in our school district in 2 years. We're hoping that we're able to have it again, have that service project again. And the Rotary Club has been one of those organizations that has been part of that. The Star Student, we were able to do that and we'll continue to do that. District and regional contests. So we're looking at, we have done the speech contest. And Erin mentioned to me that there's an essay contest because not every kid wants to stand up in front of a group and give a speech. So we're going to add the essay contest this year to that. And she's going to give me more information about when that happens, but the speech contest happens in March. The postcard to senior citizens at the Georgia War Veterans Home. We did that pre-COVID. We haven't been able to do that. So I am hoping that's a great project. Talk about touching lives and making people feel that they're important. We want to do that project. We do the bike trails, the Peace Monument Project, maintaining that. The community garden. So when you talked about the environment, I think we're already doing that because the Rotary Club invested a good deal of money into that garden and it is going in full force. We just received another $50,000 from an anonymous donor to make it accessible to our children with disabilities. So it is something that people are very interested in. I think that we're committed to that, but I think it meets that goal for the Rotary. And then Habitat for Humanity. Erin also mentioned that this year is going to be their anniversary. And so they want as many organizations to help them, whether that be constructing a home or in some other capacity. So we're going to get more information and we would like to be part of that celebration, as well as Tom started the Christmas Gifts for Families. This past year was the first year that we did that. So it was great, well received, and talk about touching lives. It brought tears to my eyes for some of these kids that they would never have Christmas, and we made their Christmas. So we would like to continue that. We try to get the Interact Club going and have not been successful, but we are leaving it as a service project, and that's getting our high school students and starting a Rotary Club with high school students. Last year, none of our high schools were interested. So we will see if we can get them to come on board. The summer meals, we distribute that every year. We didn't have any participation from our club this year in the summer meals program. So we want to change that for the new year. And then Erin also mentioned, yes, MAPS, which is giving medication to people that have prescription and can't afford it. And they need to have a clinic that's willing to work with our Rotary Club. And I shared with our board that we have a clinic. We have a school-based health clinic. So why don't we look at doing that? And we do provide medication to families that cannot afford to pay for their prescription. So if there's a grant that we can apply for and be able to give back to our community in that way, I'm all for it. And that's all I have. Any questions for me or any other suggestions or ideas?
I have a question. Will the schools do the reality check again this year, or is that coming back, or?
The reality check is done through the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, but it's.
I think it is coming back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
And COVID, again, they suspended it.
That was
because
the
of
one
COVID.
that we used to do, so that might be something to add.
I will add. Thank you for that. Yes.
I'm just the Interact, I'm the district Interact chair for this year, and also the club chair. And I have talked with Jason Flanders from Baldwin High, and we have set up, he is very interested in having an Interact club at Baldwin County High School. And I'm going to be going to Rush Week and presenting material to the students to see if they're interested. And I have these cards, I hope I can know. They're Rotary four-way test cards, which I will be giving out to the students. So I figured, it's something good for them to have, whether they're interested in Interact or not. Well, one thing about these cards, these are not from Russell Hampton, where we normally get things. These are from Terry Adkins, who does, he has like a printing business in Brunswick, but he prints these up and then we pay for them, but instead of paying him, he has us donate the money to our Rotary district. So it's a win-win for everyone. So we'll be doing, Baldwin County High is going to have an Interact.
I'm glad he didn't get any pressure from the superintendent. So I'm glad to hear that he's very excited about having a club. But
Who is that?
Jason Flanders, the high school principal, the principal. Yeah, who has a superintendent that believes that we should have an Interact.
Just curious, does Mr. Flanders buy into making the boss look good?
I think he does. I think he does. Yes. And he does that very well. Any other questions for me? And so GMC and our JMA folks, see if you can get somebody to come on board to have an Interact club as well. So just a little pressure. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I can almost read that. I brought my glasses up because I wasn't sure I'd be able to. My name is Tamara, and the last time I was up here, I was fairly paralyzed. So I think that's gonna be my first goal, is to overcome my fear of speaking in front of a group. But anyway, the goals I've set are in support of this year's Rotary International theme, Imagine Rotary.
leading with a quote from the recent district assembly meeting: "Dream big and serve big when creating programming and events for our club." So we'll accomplish that through support of Rotary International's calendar by coordinating speakers and sponsor activities within their monthly theme. So for example, each month Rotary International has a different speaking theme that they recommend. August is going to be about membership, and Crystal has already found somebody that's going to come and talk to us for the remaining day we have in August. And then September will be about literacy and education. Dr. Price will be speaking on the 15th for that. The next will be educate our club on DACA DV reporting options available to show a true reflection of our service impact. So we learned a lot at the district level about how we could go into the boards and report our different service projects so other districts and international could see what we're doing here in Milledgeville to provide impact to our community. And then third, partner with club leadership to increase brand awareness in social media and multimedia platforms, which is what Erin is taking on. So it's a pleasure and a privilege to serve the Milledgeville Rotary as program chair. I'll work hard to support all of Erin's past efforts and legacy. And it's an honor to follow her in this role. I'm grateful for the opportunity. And one day I won't be so shy anymore. We're working on it.
All right.
That's my side. Yeah, that's my side.
Yeah, it is.
See, I'm in the easy chair now this year as a past chair, so much so I didn't even get a slide up there for my goals. But really, seriously, this year, my goal is to support them, to be the tech guy, obviously, as I have 20 times in this meeting. But like Greg, I've got a personal goal of 2 new members, and I'd like to challenge all of you. We kind of hinted at it, but I want to directly challenge you to bring 1 new member to Rotary next year, through this year. So it's easy. 1 person is all it takes. And look, we would double the size of our club through the year and keep Bristol really busy. So, all right.
Cool. All right. That's it. So that's what we want to do, and that's what we think we can do in the coming year. Do you have questions for any of us, or do you think we're crazy?
So based on the presentation, did anybody in here decide they have a personal goal for Rotary this year? At least one person. Go ahead.
To get internet.
Oh, Kristen. Rock on. I like it.
Randy,
Oh,
I want to make sure he gets.
yeah, absolutely. Please. All right. Okay. Well, thank you to our other guests and potential members. Bye, Stella. Thanks for coming. I was at play. Coming. Hope you enjoyed yourself today as we all stood up here and ran our mouths. Appreciate your time. And I thought it was appropriate to close today's meeting with a quote from our new RI president, Jennifer Jones. She said, "We all have dreams. The choice is up to us to make them real."